Welcome to another episode of the Translators Podcast. Today we have D Nasty, who is a stand-up, actor, and TV host who found early success as an Instagram influencer.
So we have Jerry Diaz, a.k.a. El Molifoca, back in the studio to ask us a social media trivia question.
Hi, Jerry.
Jerry?
Oh, my bad. I was on social media. There's this video of a white baby that knows the lyrics to 10 Crack Commandments. It's amazing.
Okay, that's great, Jerry, but what about the trivia question?
Huh? Oh, right, the trivia. Yeah, I got one. I got a trivia question. All right, let's go. You ready? All right. Who has the most followers on social media?
Zendaya!
You mean Zendaya?
Yo, you follow Zendaya too?
Dude, I've been following her.
Okay, guys, you have an unhealthy obsession with Zendaya. And that's how I know her name, because I follow her too. But look, it's not the correct answer, all right? The correct answer is Cristiano Ronaldo.
I don't watch football.
Zendaya was robbed, man. You know what? Let's just start the show.
Social media celebrities have become a real thing, and their success relies not just on the content they put out, but on the connection they build with their fans. There are influencers, content creators, YouTubers, TikTokers, Twitchers, OnlyFansers, LinkedIn-siders. You get the idea.
And they get millions of views on their comedy videos, dance videos, memes, live game streams, and even farting in a jar and selling it. It actually happened.
You bought some? Okay, instead of watching TV on your couch, it's now become common to watch your favorite content on your phone from the comfort of your toilet seat. The internet can make you laugh, cry, and even teach you how to properly massage your face so you can tighten your jawline naturally.
Do you actually do that?
Yeah, I can teach you. Check it out. Just
No. Please, Jamie, please stop. Jerry, can you list some popular Latino influencers?
Yeah, you got people like Lele Pons, Dulce Candy, and of course, one of the early ones that broke out, LaJuan Jane.
Yes.
And Mike, I think back in the day you had a little viral video of your own.
I might have. I want to bring it up, but yes, I had a song called Pan con Queso that kind of blew up. And, but Jerry, you also had a viral video.
Do you know what? Thank you for remembering that, Mike. Yes, I did. I had a little song called Cuchi Frito that gained millions of views when I released it a couple years ago, yes.
I guess I'm the only one in this studio not to have a viral song about food.
Don't worry, Jamie. You'll get there one day. And that's what social media fame is all about. You can literally become a social media star by pressing send. So, let's start the show. Okay, D, so this episode is about, social media content creator and then going on actress and other mediums. But I'm very curious about this question I'm about to ask you right now. How is your family WhatsApp? Because I know you're creating content, you were creating content. Like, how is your Dominican family WhatsApp?
Mire, si yo te digo eso ahora mismo, me matan. They'll kill me. They'll fucking kill me. You know, we are a very healthy and normal family. Nah, it's crazy. Like, our group chat is insane. I have to mute it because it's always going off 24/7. But it's siempre una loquera. It's always like, vamos juntarnos, let's get together. And then somebody fights, somebody throws shade. My mother, I love my mother, but my mother does not think before she speaks. So she'll say things that come off really nasty sometimes. And she'll be like, ay, pero yo no sabía que fue, la verdad. And it's like, you know what the freak you was doing when you said what you said. So it is a little bit of like one part drama, one part comedy, but all parts we're always just trying to get together.
Yeah.
We always want to hang out together. We love each other.
Aw,
Yeah.
that's a nice happy ending there. So what was when you started doing the social media content creating, what was your family's reaction to that?
You know, even now, whoever's searching should follow me.
D Nasty Instagram.
I don't have me not follow me. So. No, I'm just fucking around. But my family, I don't think there was a lot of a reaction because we're all kind of comedians in our own right. So they kind of expected me to do this. I was like, ay, ahí está la lingo su loquera. Because before social media, I was always still trying to get into the business in some type of way. So like I was doing improv, I was taking classes here and there. I even had done like open mics. I wasn't fully into the stand-up world, but I was getting there. So I don't think it was a shock to them. However, when I quit my job in the hotel for social media, ahí fue.
That was the...
Everybody's
We
like,
gotta
what
talk.
are you doing?
Yeah.
You have a union job. You have health benefits. You have 401k.
When Prima comes from Dominican Republic, she stays there.
Exactly. What are we
doing?
going to do with the 40% discount? I do miss some points.
She's like, no, you don't. I don't care about the 401k followers. I care about the money. Okay.
Yeah, so they were like, I don't know. I do feel like they trust me. They were a little hesitant, like, why can't you do both? But it was getting kind of hard to do both.
Question: do you have your notifications on Instagram?
No.
Okay, so when was that first video that you did that you had to turn off the notifications?
Damn, to be honest, I don't even remember. Because, you know, what was so good about like Instagram in 2016, 2017, when they first released the video feature, for whatever reason, Instagram and like WorldStar were like collided. There was no algorithm yet. So if something was popping on Instagram, they would go ahead, they'll put it, repost it on WorldStar. WorldStar had the hugest platform at the time. So if they put me on WorldStar, I get mad views. So I would always get a lot of notifications from things that were reposted on WorldStar. And also just generally from people in my community. Like I always say this, that video, there's so much cringe in it, but I still have like a soft spot in my heart. But there's other videos that I'm like, no me enseñes esa vaina because I don't want to see that. But I had to go through that, and even as corny or crunchy as it seemed, or as humble as my apartment was, or whatever, my peers, people like me, Dominicans, Latinas from New York, and Latinos, they saw something on a media site where it's like, oh shit, she talks like me, she looks like me, she acts like me. So it kind of did open up me being able to speak directly to my community and not have to be like whitewashed or whatever, someone putting words in my mouth.
So you said you turned it off. Like, so how do you have to like? Is there like a system you have to check your DMs? Because I know like sometimes there's been people like they're like, oh, I DM'd you or I try to get in contact with you, but if you don't have the notifications, like what's your like business side of it?
Mike's trying to play it off like that. That's why he doesn't respond to people on
Right.
DMs. He's like, because so many people DM me and I lose it. So do you have the same thing?
So, I mean, I don't make it a thing to necessarily answer my DMs. That's why my email's there, so people could contact me through there. But you know, we all do have time to search and look, and you know, if I'm free at the moment, I do respond to people. You know, but if I don't feel like talking to them, I don't.
Alright? So if she doesn't get back to you, it's because she don't feel like talking to you.
No, that's not true. Sometimes that's who does it. Oh, I don't talk about the little.
That's the soundbite right there. That's the
It's on
soundbite.
video.
We got it.
So I mean, all the stuff that you do, all the content, even your stand-up. Are there people in your life that you trust to give you honest feedback on that type of stuff?
For sure, yeah. I have my comedian friends who are all very honest. And, well, not all, but I do have my comedian friends that
Shade.
are certain crew that I be like, you know, bouncing ideas off of, and they do the same with me. My brother is a big inspiration for anything funny to me, so I run things with him. And my sister is not necessarily a comedian. She's the most serious one, but because she's serious, she'd be like, that shit was whack, B. So my sister, my brother, and definitely just like the circle of stand-up comedians that I'm in.
Nice.
When you were doing the videos, you were talking about this. You kind of talked about it a little bit before, but during that time, what was your process as far as like getting inspiration and doing some of the videos? Was it where like there were hot topics? Like, what was your method when you were creating videos? On
You
Instagram?
know, it's crazy because sometimes I fight with myself and I'm like, I don't even feel that I have the same motivation to do like my own content like I used to, because I used to churn out videos almost every day. And I think it really was just a moment of being excited with the platform. It was new, it was exciting. And I just felt like I really needed to say things. Yeah. And the fact that people were being so receptive online showed me that I was like, okay, so like what I feel inside and the stuff that I want to do resonates with people. And yeah, I'm gonna go forward with it. So like anything at that point became like inspiration. Like when I did the Bronx Chick Starter Pack, I did that video And it's true. Instagram, social media is a drug. It does, fire off that dopamine receptor. So I'm like, I gotta do another one.
Right.
So everything, like a ball rolling down the street became, inspo. Somebody catcalling me, inspo. A day in the salon, inspo. And I just wanted to get more likes because I was like drugged on it. Like,
Yeah, and it's interesting because around that time, Instagram was such an intimate thing for everybody. Like everyone took it out, opened it up, and to have someone like you that was speaking, people really relate to that. Because sometimes you have to go to other platforms or all this stuff, but it was right there, and you were putting a video, and people can relate there. So it was a very interesting time when you were creating that content and doing that people were like, yes, that's exactly how I feel, D.
yeah, I love that. That's great.
So, at the height when you were doing videos all the time, like, did you ever have to have like, because a lot of people want to, they try to balance social media and their mental health. They take they take the social media breaks. Mike, I know you do that a lot. It's like, I'm not even looking at Instagram for like a month.
I'm off it now.
He's off it now. That's why he's a answer to my DMs. But
I run his burners. Though.
Yeah, he does.
so do you ever turn off social media for like an extended period of time?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. So when I say that social media is a drug, it really feels like a drug because you do get addicted and you keep looking at it.
Yeah.
So that's how I was before. I was a thirst bucket for Instagram. Now I put it down. I live my life. I go do what I gotta do. And it could be hours before I look at it. I don't necessarily have to like completely go off of it. I get like bursts where I'm like, I want to be on it. I'm going to post my stuff. And then I stop and I give it a break. And I'm like, let that, let that
Let it
settle.
marinate.
Yeah, let it marinate and I'm going to just do me. So I do take little breaks because, I don't know, before I just felt like it was a community of everybody trying to, there were still trolls, but everybody was like hungry and trying to be like, doing something for themselves and for the community and for people that made everyone smile. And sometimes now I feel like it's a little bit more dark. Like there's a lot more trolls. And
Can you kind of talk a little bit about that?
I think the introduction of filters was a bad thing. It's just it's depressing. Like, you go on and you see these women, and I think I'm a pretty attractive woman myself, but like you go and you look at Instagram and I'm a 30-year-old woman, you see these perfect beings and you're like, coño, like how they look like that? I want to look like that. But luckily I have something in my mind that tells me it's photoshopped, it's filtered, it's, Botox, whatever. It's the little kids that I'm worried about. It's my niece, my nephew. Like, how are they going to attain to that? So I think the way people look on social media is super problematic because we do be, even me, I fall subject to that. I always use the Paris filter, the first one.
The Paris?
That's a popular one.
Blur.
Jerry uses that. You use that filter sometimes,
Yes, I
right?
do.
Everybody uses the Paris. Por
It
lo
makes my skin
menos.
glow. It makes my skin glow.
You started off by saying, not saying yes if it feels right.
Yeah.
When you were doing a content, what was it that gravitated doing with some brands? Like, what made you want to work with this brand, but you were like, I'm not messing with that brand? What was your decision making behind that?
In the beginning, there was no brands. I was doing this for free. I was connecting with my peers. Like in the beginning, it was me, Sasha Merci, Ken Stars, Jacob Berger, I Am Black Rose. Like we were out here linking up together and doing what we had to do. Especially me, Sasha, and Ken. Like those were the link ups that I was doing. The brands didn't come until much later, and I wasn't saying no to none of them. I was saying like, yeah, y'all gonna give me money for this?
Hector's Pharmacy? Okay, I'll do something.
mira,
Now you
in the
hood famous.
beginning-
You hood famous though. Like, you know what I'm saying? You was the Target. You was doing all. Yeah, we got to see
Recently,
it.
but now it's Target now. But before
Yeah.
it was like like on St. Nicholas on 173rd, the little like furniture spot. You know what I mean?
Plático.
Yo, go to this check cashy spot, yo.
Yo, listen, those checks clear the same way.
Yo, they give it to you right there in cash. For real. So
It's just today's price. It's not yesterday's price.
The 99 cents that only pays in change.
Right.
yeah, but before in the rolled up little things,
Yeah.
right? I'll take them. Shit, it's a little workout while you go to the gym. I mean the bank.
Sound like a reindeer walking. Ka-ching-ching.
But no, so before I was saying yes to like mad brands, but now that I feel like I have the just luck that I don't have to say yes to everything. If it don't resonate with me or if it's something that I feel is harmful or weird, like I'm never gonna do like a skinny tea laxative thing. Cause I'm like, bueno, yo cogió laxative, but
Right.
I'm not saying you should do that. You know what I mean? Yo no
Yeah.
quiero que una
Yeah.
chamaquita se vaya en mierda por ahí.
Jamie Lee Curtis, I want to sue her because I went over. I overate Activia. Yeah.
Too much Activia.
Not the Activia. But if it's something that I wouldn't do personally, then I'm not gonna.
Right.
Is there anything that you can, like a real thing that you did that you could say that you were like, that you think about it now? I was like, oh, why did I do that? Why did I do that branding thing? Like
There
something
wasn't-
local where it was just like, oh my God, this came out now. I mean, you don't even have to say the name of the place, but
I don't regret none of those because those made me who I am. You learn from them. So I don't regret it. Even if it's cringe, I don't regret it. However, there was one thing, it wasn't a branding thing. It was one thing I did with Vice that I didn't like too much. And we were doing like this show called Canceled where it was like, I don't even remember. It was me and two other contestants and like one host, and we were like kind of canceling people or like trying to get them uncanceled. Looking back, even though I looked cute and I did my thing, I didn't really like I don't really like the message. I'm not about canceling people. Who the hell, who am I? So that's the one thing I kind of look back and I'm like, even though it didn't get a lot of views, I'm like, ¿pa qué hice this?
were you canceling them on the spot, like in the street? Like, yo, Jerry, canceled. And he's like, what? I'm just going to work.
We had like a game studio kind of set up, and we had to defend. It was me and the other contestants, and we each had a we each had a person or celebrity that was canceled to defend. So it was like Nicki Minaj, Kim Kardashian, somebody else.
Yeah.
But then while you're defending your person, you had to like bash the other ones, which was like, I don't like that.
Okay.
Who am I to do that?
Yeah.
On the business level of social media content and creative content, like from your perspective, how do you see social media evolving? There was Vine, and then Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff. Like, how do you see the future of social media and even like social media content creating?
So it's definitely becoming way more of a business and fun the way it started. For me, it was pure fun in the beginning. Now it's still fun, but there is a business aspect to it and some of it. But if you look at my stories, ain't no business.
Right.
I'm waking up, like, con mi bajo a boca, my hair just woke up, like, what up? But the future right now, the near future is TikTok. Everybody get on the TikTok. Who's to say what's going to be the next TikTok in 5 years? But it is... With social media, you have to stay relevant and you have to keep evolving. I was so opposed to joining TikTok at first. I was like, no,
Yeah, me too.
eso no es para mí.
I feel old
feel
when I
so
joined
old.
because all the tools, like all the, I just can't. Jamie,
You just
have
can't do the
TikTok?
dances. You just can't
No,
do
the dances I can't. But TikTok was the one I felt so intimidated. I'm like, I can't mess with that.
There's a lot on the screen and like, it's a lot and it gives me kind of like sensory overload, but I'm learning. I'm getting
Right.
into it. And now when you finally get it and you do one, you're like, oh, okay, wait, what's not hard? So
But it's time consuming too.
Yeah.
TikTok is very time consuming. Like to make one video, it takes a lot of time.
I would
TikTok,
like
yeah.
them. I think they do that on purpose
Yeah.
so that there's more eyes on the screen. I wish that they could evolve their editing thing because it's like if you do one reel or one like scene and then you do another one, you can't really delete it. Like you can't go back.
Right.
And I think that that's a plan. That's a CCP. No, just kidding. So that we could keep our eyes on them, but on the app. But yeah, like I think TikTok right now is a wave, and also if you're trying to get into like social media, just do something that's gonna feel real to you. Because if you decide to pick a character that you hate and other people like, then you stuck with that character, and then
Yeah.
God.
Because Jerry tried to do a whole like foreign Uber driver character.
It's a branding
on
thing. It was a
TikTok.
branding thing.
It didn't work. People loved it, but you were getting tired of it. You got
No, yeah, because then they wanted me to do the accent everywhere.
Yeah, that's
it was
Yeah, that's
bad,
the thing.
No, I was joking about
They
that.
said, you know
didn't do
why?
that.
I'm not gonna
But you
do
should.
it.
There you go. I think you should do it then.
No.
Is it easier to get started now with all the choices out there? Or is it harder to like make a name for yourself? Because back in when you started, it wasn't even as many platforms
No.
right? And so now it's just so many, it seems overwhelming with so many people trying to be content creators.
Can I piggyback on that? I like, because you also do stand up, so you have somewhere to direct your audience to come and see you and for you to monetize your talents, which a lot of people, like, I think that's the problem. Like comedians are trying to have this online brand to get the popularity, and then you have the people that do have the online brand are trying to create content outside of it.
Oh.
So you're one of the few that you could dabble in both. Like, how does that work for you as far as like your stand-up career? Because you have somewhere to like, hey, you think I'm funny here, come and see me here, and vice versa.
Well, I'm gonna answer his first because it's the one I remember.
It's a better question. You could be real with me.
Turn up Jerry's mic. Turn up Jerry's
We'll
mic.
cut it all. We'll cut it in post.
That'll be bonus stuff.
I mean, so this is the thing with my stand-up. I've always wanted to try stand-up, and I always wanted to do something that was funny. Like, I overheard you guys talking about like Cameron Diaz and J-Lo. I used to love Cameron Diaz. I didn't even know she was Spanish, even though her last name was Diaz. But I used to love her. She was the one for me when I was younger. And I'm like, she's so hot, but she's so like funny and charismatic and simpática. And I was like, I love that. But there was something about like being on the stage and having an older brother who was always watching Comedy Central that put me on to like, oh wait, I could do that. And just being the youngest of my siblings, when you're a little kid and you're trying to get attention from older people, you kind of have to become a performer. The stand-up thing or just wanting to do comedic bits in any way, shape, or form was always instilled in me. I was lucky that Instagram came out with that video feature, and it allowed me to like just try out my little things online. But I think that even if like Instagram or social media didn't exist, I would be doing the stand-up regardless. So I am blessed that I kind of know how to navigate both. I still feel like I have a long way to go though with stand-up. It's a hard art. You could take the same set in one place and it fucking kills, and you could take the same set somewhere else and it bombs. So it's an art that I'm still navigating, but I'm glad to be doing it.
That Wisconsin crowd is like, we saw your video. You gotta earn our laughs.
Yeah, no, but they like me though, I think.
No, right, yeah. No, of course.
And then Jamie was saying, do you think it's easier now, or is it more difficult since it's more individuals?
I mean, it's a lot, bro. The thing is that I don't think it's hard to make a viral video. It's like that show Dave in the first season when he's like, I'm gonna go viral. I think I jump in at library or some shit. I don't think it's hard to go viral anymore. I think it's hard to just stay relevant.
Yeah.
Because anybody could be viral. The Gorilla Glue girl was viral, but she, you know, what she did with that. You feel me? Even though I heard she had like another sticky hair situation recently.
I didn't see that.
She put Gorilla Glue somewhere else? Oh my God.
Pero una vaina rara.
Bueno.
No.
Crazy glue this time.
The eyelashes. I haven't slept in months. Nah, that's not even funny. My bad, girl. I think that it is in a way easier to get your foot in, but it can be harder if you don't have like a plan to stay consistent.
And so you are you close with your followers? Like, do you
Yeah.
are you feel like you have an emotional attachment to them? That's what you're saying. That's another level of like how you stay relevant, right? You need that fan base.
Yeah,
keep
I
coming
talk to
back.
my followers all the time.
Okay.
Like I talk to them like if they're my friends. So this is the thing, when you were talking about like reading your DMs, you know how like if you have not to sound pretentious, but like if you have a certain number of followers, it's like your people that you always could like talk to, and then there's like the 99 plus. So those are people that follow you but you don't follow. So when you click on that, there's a whole nother animal in that little link right there.
Right.
It's like going to the dark web and shit.
That is so those be the
I
ones
just saw you
where-
walk across the street. Oh, okay. I want
I
to
know,
read
I
that
get
one.
those a lot all the time. Like, I do be out here. I still live in the hood.
Guy with the eye patch, like, yo, what's up? I always watch this stuff.
Remember I DM'd you? You didn't open it, but remember?
But those that I don't open the 99 plus, but the ones that I do, sometimes I just click on it because my followers make me laugh. And also like, I think people can see like I am bubbly and joyful and nice, but I think people can see that I'm a little bit of a bitch. So they're assholes to me. Like my followers hold no, you know, like they don't bite their tongue. Like they'll be like, girl, you look crazy. You look like Felicia. What's wrong with you, man? Vete a dormir. And I'm like, mira, bajo nalga. Like, and then we laugh at each other and then it's all good. Like my followers are rude, but I think they are rude because I can handle it.
I mean, I thought it was weird you knew that I smelled like Naga, but that...
Yeah.
Se bajo llega aquí, loco. No, I'm just kidding.
I want to discuss when you started working Vice and we're working in other mediums and all the platforms, not just social media. How was that going to that? And also, did you deal with any imposter syndrome? Did you feel like there was a little bit of like, oh, am I going to be able to fit in here? Like, can you just let us know a little bit how that time was?
I go by this quote that goes, I read it from the book The Secret, of course. But it's
We'll put it on the
book.
screen.
That's
We'll put it
book.
on the screen right now.
That's Jamie's favorite
For
book.
real, for real?
Yeah.
I'm still.
He kept it a secret for a long time.
Yeah,
Because it was a secret.
it's on Oprah's list.
Yeah.
No, but when I was younger, I read The Secret, and it's always stuck with me. And a particular quote that they have is leap and the net will appear. So it's kind of like have faith, you know, like just go for it. So when I left my job at the hotel, I was making 6 figures at that point. I was there for 6 years and it's a union job and I was making a lot of money. And I got a DM from
Now, wait,
someone.
are they hiring the hotel?
Yeah.
They
I
should
was about to
be.
say,
Let's
"Cuélgate,
get out of
gente,
here,
yo."
yo. Hold up.
They should be, bro. I was making a pretty penny. Mad young. I was making cute money. And then Vice hit me up. And I think Vice was like the first, you know, like media company to be like, hey, what's up with you? Like, what's going on? And do you want to come in for like a meeting? So I go in, unbeknownst to me, it's a screening or whatever you call those. A screen test, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't know about that. I had never done a screen test in my life. So they were like, we're going to sit you here. There's cameras everywhere. It's in an intimidating ass building that I've never been in before. And they're like, we just talk to the camera about certain topics and we'll throw some topics at you and just riff. And I did it. And I was kind of like so nervous, but I took those nerves and kind of just worked with it. And I landed my job there. But it turned out that, you know, things never wind up how you want them to be because I went in there hired as like talent, and then the person who hired me then left the building. And then I got like kind of demoted as a PA. So, and mind you, it was not good money. I left making really good money. I had my own apartment that I had to sublease my apartment and go to somewhere where I was making PA money.
Right.
Okay. Non-union. So, my funds were low and I was suffering for a little bit, you know, but
This is the all is lost moment.
Yeah.
In the script.
This is the character
And then,
building part.
Yeah,
The character building part.
you know, not to go on and on, I learned so much. Like I learned so much about the production side of things and how, you know, lighting is so important and sound is so important. And I think I took those things and took it with my own content to make it better because I learned this from like a professional setting. So I wouldn't even take that back because I learned so much. But there were moments when they were like, yeah, this girl should not be a PA. Like she's making everybody laugh. Let's put her back on the screen. And then that started opening up way more opportunities for me with other companies. I did De Lo Mio, which was an indie film. It's on HBO Max. And those were all things that I said yes to. And even now I still suffer with imposter syndrome because like I'm just, I don't know. It sounds mad annoying and like pretentious, but like I am a hard worker and whatever you tell me to do, whether it be the hotel, PA work, or like literally be on camera, I'm going to get it done. So I don't see it always as like, this is my shot. Oh my God, I hope they like me. They put me there for a reason. They want me to be good. So I'm going to just be good even though yo me estoy cagando encima.
Man, not only do you belong there, you running shit.
Thank you, baby boy.
Hey, hey.
Jerry.
Thank you.
So you mentioned acting. De Lo Mio, HBO Max. Jerry still needs to borrow my HBO Max.
Yeah, I still haven't, because he won't let me his password.
As far as acting, what are some things that you had to adjust from acting on social media to acting, you know, in a movie or TV?
There's like the saying, I'm gonna butcher it, but like for people that do like Broadway versus TV, like when you're on the stage, your actions and your facial expressions and everything, your emotions have to be so much bigger because you're on a stage and there's hundreds of people around you, and you know the people in the back need to hear you and see you, so your emotions are big. On TV, your emotions are much smaller because people are watching you in a big ass screen or whatever. So you don't have to be so over exaggerated. Now with social media, even though it's still on a screen, it's kind of like the same thing with like Broadway or being on a stage, right? Where things are kind of like
Over the top.
over the top. People's eyes are over the top. I think it's because, you know, you get 30 seconds and you want to make the point, and maybe because it is on a phone, it's a smaller screen, so it's kind of the same thing as the Broadway play, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know, but all I know is that yo hago mucha moriqueta con mi cara, and on social media that works. That does not work on acting. You have to be much smaller with your movements and just everything.
Even in the sketch world, because a lot of these, you're pretty much doing these mini sketches online, and sketches are so big.
Yeah.
And you know, we've done sketch, so sometimes you just, when you're like, you gotta like not always have that sketch energy, that big sketch energy. You know what I mean?
Sketch is big, and then like
Yeah.
regular acting, you gotta be like, casi como que tú te estás muriendo. Yeah, on screen it comes off beautiful.
Right.
Sí, porque tú sabes.
They just want you to move one eyebrow, and
Yeah.
that's the whole scene.
You can
You know
be
what I mean?
shocked.
That's, yeah. Yeah.
You want a crying scene? I'll give you a crying scene. It's like, no, subtle.
They just want one tear. They get drink.
So you mentioned that you're on De Lo Mio on HBO Max, and also you were in an episode on Gentefied. on
Yeah.
Netflix.
Right.
Can you explain that experience as far as you on social media and your followers? Like, how was that feeling, you being on television, being on Netflix, and how your followers and the social media, like, how was that moment when you had that?
It was so dope. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I can't really. I just know that I was so nervous at first because I am my worst critic. And I was like, what if they don't like it? You know, I don't really like to watch myself. So they had sent me the video and I was watching it like this, like it was a horror movie. I was like, oh, like, and then like even when I'm with my friends and family, they're like, "Darling, mira tati," and I just want to punch everybody. I'm like, "No me mire," like,
Yeah.
It's like I just want to see it by myself first, and then or whatever. But when I saw that it was getting so much good reception online and people were hitting me up and they loved it, I was, you know, flattered because so much of the character I felt was easy to do because it was so much like me.
She was a fun character. I was going to say that was a fun character,
Dalia,
right?
when I read that script, I remember reading, like getting the script. They're like, we need you to do this by tonight. Like learn the lines and do this by tonight. And yo tenía una resaca del diablo. I was so hungover that day. And I'm like, and I read the script from my bed. And I was like, I'm gonna get this part. And I just like got up, I put ice on my face, I put my shit up and I did my shit. And they called me, like, it was a pretty lengthy like audition process. It was like the first one, there were like 3 interviews in total, or 3 auditions in total. But it was great. It was the fact that people loved it. You know, it's sad that the season actually got canceled.
Right.
Yeah.
It's only gonna
Yeah.
have 2, so it sucks because I would have liked to see what more would have happened with the characters. I was a fan of the show. But on that,
But,
it was
but
great.
specifically, because it's interesting, right? You're creating content on Instagram. You're building the follower. These are your fans. And then you have something that is not on there. Like, they're there. Like, can you tell me a little bit, like, how your fans or your followers react? Like, oh, you on Netflix. Yo, you killed it. Like, because it's different. Because, like you're saying, you get a little nervous because this is not like a content that you created in there.
No.
This is a third-party thing there. Can you tell me, like, how that feels with that?
It's great, like, cause people, like I said, they be rude, but in this case, they're not. Like everyone was like, "Yo, look at you! I've been here since day one.
Yeah.
You're doing your thing, taking screenshots, reposting it." So like, obviously, that makes me go crazy. Like I love the support that I get from my supporters. Like that makes me feel on top of the world, and it makes me feel like I'm doing something right. Because sometimes you do this for so long, and you don't really see like the fruits of your work, and you're like, yeah. Let me go back to the hotel. But you know, it's that moment of like, damn, it's paying off and it's good. They like it. Like, I don't know. It sounds weird to be doing stuff for people that you don't know, but it is a gratifying situation or feeling.
So we ask people a lot, you know, about their how they get the creative juices flowing, the creative jugo, right? So, so what is your routine as far as getting your creative juices going, whether it be writing, acting, performing,
Stand-up?
Do you have a routine that helps you?
You know, I don't have like a routine. There are certain things that I do to get into it. Like for any of my juices, to get flowing. I feel like I gotta move my body. Like coffee's a must. I'm always drinking coffee. I wake up and I have my little bustelo.
Okay.
And then I do like to move my body a little bit. Like just get some type of workout in, even if I don't want to, just move it around, get on the elliptical or do a couple squats. Cause I do feel like, I don't know, in my head, I see it as like the blood is going to my brain. I don't know. So I feel like some type of physical activity and some coffee, and then just I sit down. Like I'll go to my desk or my, table in the kitchen or whatever. I'll turn on a little candle, you know.
Okay, candle.
I put on some music that doesn't, like some light music that
Some
doesn't have
light.
lyrics.
Yeah,
And-
Jerry likes Kenny G.
I love Kenny G.
Okay.
Like jazz.
It's better than Enya.
Are you like Enya?
That's when I'm taking a bath. That's different.
But yeah, I have like little things. Like I do love a candle, and I do like to have my coffee next to me and a little salsa water. And then I just turn on the laptop and I do what I do.
Okay. A follow up to that is, you know, when you write a lot of your material, where do you get that inspiration from?
It could be from anything. Like a lot of the stuff just pops up like out of nowhere. I
Yeah.
can't.
But are you like walking in the street and be like, oh, I'm gonna write this down for later?
Yeah.
Or so you do kind of have that
Sometimes
mental notebook?
Yeah,
you
like
know?
my notes, and my phone, I use that a lot because you will forget. Like there's certain things that I'm like, oh my God, this is so good. I'm not gonna forget it, and then you forget it.
Right. Yes.
So I do anything that I find like inspiration from, I'll write it down, and then later on I'll build on it. But I gotta be serious with you. Some of the best things that I've put out wasn't pre-planned, wasn't written. It was just like off the cuff, like me just doing it.
Yeah.
But that's not to say that preparation isn't key. It is.
You have to be good though, right?
Yeah.
So that the good, like the really good performers and
Yeah.
they can be like, yeah, that just came out the top.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But like normal folk probably.
It depends. It's like
Yeah.
it's either luck, you know what I mean, in that moment. Sometimes you get lucky, and in sometimes, let's say I have the inspiration and I don't have anything to do, and I grab my phone and I do it right there. Y como que no está bien. I'm like, you know what? I can redo this. Maybe if I add this or that. So sometimes not even like writing it in notes. The first draft is just doing it on the phone at first, and then being like, oh, I look crazy or whatever. Let me do that again.
Yeah. Edit.
So final question, D. What are some of the soft skills that you like? If you were to give advice for somebody, what are some of the soft skills that help you manage your career? Meaning, it's either communication, just the non-skill stuff, like things that people need to look beyond the actual
Or not as
art
obvious.
and creative. Yeah,
Right.
So,
not as
like,
obvious.
The most talented person that's lazy won't get anywhere as near as the most hardworking, dedicated person. So the soft skills is to not be lazy. Also be personable. Don't be an ass. You know, a lot of the time you might want to be an ass, but people remember when you are, either difficult to work with or just not a pleasant person. So like, remember, you are a light. As human beings, we have a source of energy. We are a light. Be a light. Don't be a dark cloud. So I always say that. Have a good attitude. Be on time, which is funny to say because I was kind of late today. But being on time is really, really important. For sure. Like, being on time is important because if you're late to some shit, people gonna take notice and they don't like that shit because there's always a schedule, whatever. Every minute counts. Be on time, be personable, and work hard. And know that you have to work hard.
Thank you so much for being a good sport and
Thank
playing.
you guys. This is dope.
Thank you.
Yeah. We want to thank D Nasty for another great interview on the Translators Podcast.
And Jerry Diaz, aka El Modifoca, for being the researcher.
Always a pleasure, boys.
So it's about that time, Time to get our mugs. Oh yeah, I'm about to get day drunk.
Cheers.
Oh, okay.
Oh, what is this?
Oh no, wrong cup, bro. My bad.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
ancient family secret.
Oh.